Hello my dear students, welcome to the chemistry classes. In this video series, I would explain the synopsis part of solution chapter. This synopsis which will help you to solve the questions with respect to your KCET, NEET or JEE or any other competitive level examinations. So I hope you all thorough about your board concepts. In addition to that, if you study very well this synopsis part, you may clear your competitive level examinations by very good colors. So okay, in this chapter we will go through the solutions. That is chapter second of your second PUC NCERT syllabus. Okay, the first we'll go through the definitions. What is solution? Okay, solution is nothing but a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more non-reacting substance whose composition varies with certain limits. That's nothing but solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more non-reacting substance. That composition is nothing but solutions. Okay, next we'll move on some different types of solution. You already know about the types of solution. In that majorly there are three types of solutions. So one is the gaseous solution, liquid solutions and solid solution with respect to the solute and solvent. Okay, the based on the solute and solvent you may classify three different types of solution. If you go for the gaseous solution, the one that is so in this column I will give solute, in this column I will give the solvent. Okay, gas. So it's nothing but one type of gaseous solution. For example, the mixture of O2 and N2 gas. In that same way, the liquid and gas and the solid and gas. Here I am given some examples. And if you go for that is the liquid solutions. In that liquid solution, gas and liquid and liquid and liquid and solid and liquid. So okay, if you take an example for solid and liquid, the solid solute and liquid solvent, the mixture of solutions. So for example, that is glucose in water. So glucose in water. So one example for liquid solution that having solid solute and a liquid solvent. In the same way, that is a solid solutions. Okay, the gas and solid, liquid and solid, and solid and solid. For example, solid. Okay, solid solute and solid solvent. So for example, that is copper dissolved in gold alloy. So okay, these are the some important types of solution. Next we'll move on different methods of expressing concentration of solutions. Okay, different types of expressing the concentrations of solutions. So okay, these are the some formulas I listed here, so which will help you to solve the numerics from this solution chapter. So okay, these are some important. In that first one, that is a mass percentage. Okay, that is symbolized by W by W. Here I given a name of the different okay, that is formulas, and here that is the symbols, and here that is a formula. Here that is very important, that is effect of temperature. What is the relation with temperature with these formulas? Okay, the first one, that is mass percentage. Mass percentage is nothing but mass of solute divided by total mass of solution into 100. Okay, mass of solute divided by total mass of solution divided into 100. Okay, into 100. So if you go for that effect of temperature, there is no effect with the temperatures. Okay, no effect with the temperature. That is nothing but there is no volume factor in this formula, so that temperature does not affect on this. Okay, next we'll move on, that is mass by volume percentage. Okay, mass by volume percentage, that is nothing but W by V. That is the formula. If you go for the formula, mass of solute divided by total volume of solution in ml. Okay, total volume of solution in ml into 100. Okay, into 100. So if you go for that is effect of temperature, that is change with the temperatures. Okay, this mass by volume percentage changes with the change in temperature. So why? Because here that is a volume factor. Again, here is a volume factor, so that will change with a change in temperature. Next, so volume percentage. Okay, volume percentage, that is given by W by, so sorry, that is V by V. Volume of solute divided by total volume of solution in ml into 100. So volume of solute divided by total volume of solution in ml into 100. So that is a change with change in temperature. If you go for the effect of temperature, that is change with the change in temperature. So why? Because again here is the volume factor. Here is the volume factor, so that temperature will come. Okay, next one strength. Okay, strength of any solution, so that is given by gram per liter or gram per dm. So this is a dm cube, gram per dm cube. Okay, if you go for the formula, that is mass of solute in grams divided by volume of solution in liters. Okay, that is change with the change in temperature. If you compare the relation of temperature with this one strength, that is change with the change in temperature. The next one formula, that is a ppm or parts per million. So this is not that much important for your this year syllabus, but sometimes they may ask a question based on this ppm, number of parts of solute, number of parts of solute divided by total number of parts of all the components of the solution into that is 10 to the power 6. So 10 to the power 6. So that is no effect with a temperature. That is nothing but there is no volume factor given here. There is no volume factor given here. So okay. So next we'll move on. That is a mole fraction. So okay, mole fraction very important. That is given by x. So okay, if you go for the formula, that is x of a, that is equal to n of a divided by n of a plus n of e. That is nothing but moles of a, number of moles of a divided by total number of moles and x of b, that is equal to n of v. Okay, n of v is number of moles of b, that is divided by total number of moles. So, okay, total number of moles. So that x of a plus x of b, that is equal to 1. That is equal to 1. Remember this point. And so here there is also no volume factor, so that there is no effect with the temperature. Okay, there is no effect with temperature. So this mole fraction, molarity and molality. So these three formulas or these three concepts are very important for solve the numerics related to these solution chapter. So okay, many of the questions may comes from these concepts. Okay, these concepts. So next we'll move on, that is molarity. So okay, molarity, that is given by m. So number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liter. So here also volume factor, so that will change with change in temperature. That will change with change in temperature. Next one, molality, that is given by small letter m, number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kg, mass of solvent in kg. So here there is no volume factor, so you remember there is no effect with the temperatures. Okay, there is no effect with temperature. The next concept, that is two more that is the topic, that is normality and formality. These are the two topics that are not much important, but just remember this. That is number of gram equivalent solute divided by volume of solution in liter. Okay, volume of solution in liter. Again here is the volume factor, so that change with change in temperature. So this normality will change with the change in temperature. The next one, formality, that is given by F, gram formula mass of the solute. Here we are taking unit. And that is gram formula mass of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. Okay, that also, that formality, change with change in temperature. Okay, change with change in temperature. Again here we observe volume factors. Okay, these are the some listed formulas which will very important. The next we'll move on the next topic, that is the solubility. It's important, that is the solubility. Solubility of the substance, it is the maximum amount that can be dissolved in a specific amount of solvents. Okay, so that's the amount of solute present in solvents. Okay, the solubility is the substance maximum amount that can be dissolved specific amount of solvents. Okay, in a specific amount of solvent, that is nothing but solubility. If you go for the solubility, so solubility of a solid in liquid. So this is the first case, solubility of a solid in liquids. Okay, so in that this topic, so it's very important, that's factor affecting this solubilities. Okay, factor affecting this solubility is nothing but, so that is a solid in liquids. Okay, solid in liquid. In that first one, nature of solute and solvent. In that factors affecting, the first one, nature of solute and solvent. Polar solute dissolves polars. Okay, that is a polar. So okay, like polars dissolves like polars. Okay, or the polar solvent that will dissolve polar solvents, and non-polar solutes are dissolved in non-polar solvents. Okay, so the polar solute dissolved in polar and non-polar solute dissolved in non-polar solvents. So this is the one thing. And the next one, that is effect of temperatures. Okay, effect of temperature. So in that effect of temperature, so temperature will directly affect it on solubility. So that we will take temperature that is directly proportional to that is solubility, that is directly proportional to the solubility. So if delta H of the solubility is greater than 0, that is nothing but a change in enthalpy. Delta H is nothing but change in enthalpy or heat change. Okay, if the reaction is endothermic, the solubility increases with the rise in temperatures. Okay, that is nothing but whatever these solvents that will absorb heat. Okay, that will absorb heat, so that is endothermic. Okay, that is endothermic. So that as the temperature increases, the solubility increases. Okay, so that solubility increases with a rise in temperature. Okay, the second case, if the delta H is less than 0, the given reaction is exothermic, then solubility is decreases with a rise in temperatures. Okay, that solubility decreases with the rise in temperatures. Okay, these are the two conditions. You remember this one, very important. So okay, that is endothermic and exothermic case. Okay, what happens to the relation of solubility with the temperature? Okay, next we'll move on, that is effect of pressure. There is no effect of pressure, or effect of pressure is 0 in the case of whatever the solubility of solid in liquid, because you already know there is no gas phase, and the liquid, so whatever these solid and liquid are highly incompressible, so that are not easy to compress. Okay, so this is about effect of pressure. Next one, a factor affecting the solubility of gas in liquids. Okay, gas in liquid. Okay, in that first one, that is effect of pressure. In that is the first concept, that Henry's law. You already studied in your whatever the theory classes. Very important, Henry's law. So it states that solubility of the gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas. Okay, the solubility of gas is in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas, or in other words, we are telling that the partial pressure of a gas in a vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction of the gas. Okay, mole fraction of the gas in the solutions. Okay, so here that is given by P is proportional to X. P is directly proportional to X. P is nothing but pressure. X is nothing but mole fraction. Or to remove this proportionality sign, we will take KH. Okay, P is equal to KH into X. X is nothing but mole fraction. Here that is KH is nothing but, so whatever this KH given here, that is nothing but Henry's law constant. That is given, that is nothing but Henry's law constant. So very important point here, that is KH is a function of nature of the gas. Okay, that is nothing but, that means that whatever this Henry's law constant, that is independent of the nature of gas. Okay, that is independent of the nature of gas. And higher the volume of KH at given pressure, lower will be the solubility of gas in a liquid. Okay, these 2 points you remember. Higher the value of KH at given pressure, the lower will be the solubility of the gas in a liquid. That is nothing but whatever this KH, that is proportional to, so that is proportional to, so 1 by solubility. Okay, 1 by solubility, that is inversely proportional to the solubility. Okay, so as a KH value increases, the solubility that will be decreases. Okay, so solubility that will be decreases. So 1 point you remember, that is respect to here. So okay, next one, that is KH value increases with the increase in temperature, indicating that solubility of the gas increases with the decrease in temperatures. Okay, with respect to temperature, if I take that is temperatures, okay, temperature proportional to solubility. So okay, as the temperature increases, the solubility decreases. Okay, as the KH value increases, the increasing temperature indicates that solubility that is decreases. Okay, solubility that is decreases. Okay, these are the 2 points you remember. Next we'll move on, that is effect of temperature. Already you know about this one. So okay, as the dilution is a exothermic process, then according to the Le-Chatelier principle, that solubility should decreases with increasing temperatures. Okay, solubility decreases with the increasing temperature. Next we'll move on, that is application of Henry's law. In that 3 important application in the production of carbonated beverages. Okay, for example, you take an soda lime. So you already know about the soda lime that will be highly compressed in the bottle with the very low temperatures. Okay, with very low temperatures, this is one application. And in deep sea diving, so okay, whatever these divers they are taken oxygenated cylinders with him when they went to deep sea. So, okay, when they went to deep sea, this is the one application. And one more, that is the for climbers or the people at high altitudes. For example, that is mountain climbers, they also taken oxygenated cylinders with them. So okay, these are the three important major applications of Henry's law. The next will move on Raoult's law. So this is very important. This is also very important. So that is Raoult's law. You already studied in your board level theory classes. Okay, it states that for a solute of volatile liquid, the partial vapor pressure of each component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fractions. Okay, so whatever here they given, partial vapor pressure of each component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fractions. Okay, directly proportional to the mole fraction according to Raoult's law. For example, if you take first component, for the first component that is P1, that is directly proportional to x1. So, okay, that is directly proportional to x1. So if you remove this proportional sign by P1 dash, okay, that will be taken here, that is P1 dash. Okay, that for component 1. Okay, if you consider component 2, P2, that is equal to P2 naught into x2, P2 naught into x2. Here that is P1 naught and P2 naught. Okay, it's P2 naught. P1 naught and P2 naught are the vapor pressure in a pure state. Okay, vapor pressure in a pure state. And where P1 and P2, so whatever this P1 and P2 are the partial vapor pressure of the two component respectively, for the component the first component and for the component second. And whatever this x1 and x2 with respect to here, that's x1 and x2 are the mole fraction of the two components. Okay, mole fraction of the two components. Now if you consider that is total pressure, so okay, P total, if you take on P total, you add this P1 and P2. So you add this P1 and P2. So here we have P1 is nothing but P1 naught into x2. You taken that is x1 into P1 naught plus x2 into P2 naught. So, okay, you already know about this. Okay, this hint, x1 plus x2, mole fraction of 1 and mole fraction of component 2, that is equal to 1. So if on simplifying this, you may get x2 equal to 1 minus x. Substituting these values here, you may get, that is important formula. This is important. P total, that is equal to P1 naught plus P2 naught minus P1 naught into x2. So, okay, by knowing mole fraction here, that's a mole fraction, you may calculate that is a P total. Okay, you may calculate P total. Next we'll move on, that is a mole fraction in vapor phase. Okay, mole fraction in vapor phase. If you consider that is y1 and y2 are the mole fractions. Okay, here in this case you may take x1 and x2. Here you take y1 and y2 are the mole fractions of the component first and second. Okay, first and second with respectively of the vapor phase. Then P1, that is equal to y1 plus P total. Okay, sorry, that is y1 into P total. If you go for that is a second one, so if we go for the second one, P2, that is equal to y2 into P total, y2 into P total. So okay, in general, so this is important in general. So you may take Pi, that is equal to yi into P total. So, okay, for example, if you take any gases, for example any benzene or any other gas, you may calculate it, that is whatever these partial pressure by knowing mole fraction and P total, So this is about whatever this Raoult's law. The next will move on, that is ideal and non-ideal solution. You already know about that is ideal and non-ideal solution. If you go for that ideal solution, so whatever the solution which will obey the Raoult's law at all the temperature and concentration are known as ideal solution, and which will do not obey the Raoult's law at all the concentration and temperature, that are known as non-ideal solution. And if you go for the second one, okay, second point, P1, that is equal to x1 into P1 naught. Okay, and P2 is equal to x2 into P2 naught. And if you go for that non-ideal solution, that is P1 that is not equal to x1 into P1 naught, and P2 not equal to x2 into P2 naught. And third point, that is delta H mixing. Okay, delta H mixing that is equal to 0, and delta V mixing that is equal to 0. Okay, that is, this is for ideal solution. If you go for the non-ideal solution, delta X that is not equal to 0, and delta V mix that is not equal to 0. So here delta V mixing equal to 0 is nothing but, for example, if you take two components, for example, that is A and B. So, okay, for example, you take A and B. For example, you take one A, component A is a 10 ml component, and one more component that is a component B that is 10 ml. On mixing A plus B, you may get exact 20 ml. So, okay, 20 ml, that is nothing but delta V that is equal to 0. That is nothing but ideal solution. That is nothing but ideal solution. And if you go for non-ideal solution, delta V mix not equal to 0. Delta V mix is not equal to 0. That is nothing but, you may take 10 ml plus 10 ml, you may get 19.9 ml, or you may get 20.1 ml. So that is also possible. Such type of solution is nothing but non-ideal solution. And so here the fourth point, that is, so that is given here. Okay, AB type of interactions. Okay, AB type of interaction that is equal to A and BB interactions. Okay, that is given here. So that is nothing but whatever the interaction of a solvent and solute. Okay, so this is the one component, and here is the one more component. Okay, that interaction is similar here. But if you go for here, that is A B interaction that is not equal to AA and BB interactions. Okay, BB interaction. So that is not similar. So if you compare the interaction of solution with the solute and solvent, that is not similar. So, okay, that is not similar. That is represented here. So, okay, this is about an ideal and non-ideal solutions. And the one more concept. So these ideal solutions do not form azotropes. Azotrope is nothing but a constant boiling mixtures. Okay, azotrope is nothing but constant boiling mixtures. Okay, so which will so a non-ideal solution form azotropes. Okay, non-ideal solutions form azotropes. For example, if you go for the example, that is N-hexane and N-heptanes is an example for ideal solutions. Okay, if you go for that is a non-ideal solution, so examples ethanol and acetone, or CS2 and acetones. Okay, these are the some examples for ideal and non-ideal solutions. Thank you.